Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Now in this video, I would like to discuss what the PM of Australia, Scott Morrison, has actually discussed over the weekend. It actually held a press conference last Friday. Basically what he had said is the estimate of numbers of net overseas migrant numbers to be plummeted until about 85% downwards. That basically means 85% fall of net overseas migrations. That's including student visa, visitors, working visa, 457, TSS visas, 485, and also including Australian citizens as well. So what the Scott Morrison, the Prime Minister, had actually said was the government actually estimating a big fall of migrants numbers, and that means population fall in Australia for 2020 until 2021. Now that's a huge economical what they describe a bushwhack to the economy of Australia. Now what I foresee is how that will actually affect all the visas and the policies that's gonna come up later of the year, especially with the new financial year starting from 1st of July. So over the weekend until yesterday, there has been enormous numbers of news article and media discussing about how the national forecast and that actually reflect to the economy and also the economy of the world. Basically meant for me, how I digested is if Australia as a nation sees that the economy is so bad that it's gonna affect the numbers of net overseas migrants to Australia, which means a huge decrease of populations. Obviously, a decrease of population would decrease of the needs and economies of the nation. That also reflect to everywhere around the world as well. So if we search on the media and on Google, you will see there's a lot of problem. Now this morning I just saw there is a huge predicted depression or recession in Canada as well, because Canada is heavily relied the economy is heavily relied on USA, and USA looks like currently the virus situation is not really contained and is still on the verge of increasing numbers. And also in Canada, the increased number of the coronavirus victims has raised up to about 60,000. That's huge. That's 10 times of what Australia actually has at the moment. Now moving on, I would like to show numbers of different articles that's talking about. So this morning, as you can see, the Treasurer George Frydenberg has actually mentioned about the coronavirus shutdown costing Australian economy of $4 billion a week, and that's huge. Now how does the government of Australia cater this huge loss, how they can move the whole economy back to normal? How I feel about it, I don't think you'll ever go back to what we call normal now. So the new normal is coming up, it's forming, it's mutating it into a new normal, and how that new normal will actually affect our lives and affect the immigration and visa policies that has been heavily discussed over the weekend as well. So another news coming up is from the Shadow Minister of Home Affairs, Christina Kennelly of the Labor Party, actually said about put Australian job first. Now that's great, putting Australian job first, but she commented on how to cut the temporary worker visas and all that down to allow the job to be released to all the Australians. But problem here is a lot of industry in Australia actually rely on a lot of skilled migrant workers. So there has been a huge criticism within the party of Labor Party saying that look, you cannot do this. How this can be done will not actually positively affect the economy of Australia. And also there has been a lot of industry leaders coming out as well, saying that look, skilled migrants doesn't really mean job losses or unemployment rate go up in for domestic Australians as well. So looks like there's going to be a huge debate how the visa policy shall reform and shall become in the very near coming future, because this definitely will have a big effect on the economy. As the world economy goes down, the reliance on energy and coal, mining, the metal, all these metals on the ground, the mining sectors, it's going down as well. So the third largest industry, the Australian has the major income for export will be coming from international education. So there has been another minister, I think not minister, it's the federal MP, coined out the idea to actually double the numbers of international students. Now that's great, but the problem is, how do you double it when the world economy is not good? There's got to be less and less international students coming into Australia, and especially if you rely on the Chinese international students, that's not going to work either, because the relationship between China and Australia is only getting worse, and also the economy in China is going in a decreased slope as well. So I don't think having a double of international student could actually get this on the move as well. Now moving on, there's another news that I want to share is the Minister of Population, Alan Tudge, actually had dismissed the idea of putting on $20 billion call for support temporary visa holders. So as you see, the economy is not that well. The main thing for Australian government nowadays is to help the Australians and Australian permanent resident at the moment. So not enough funding, as you can see, for the temporary visa holders here. And the final piece of news coming out from Financial Review that I have bring here is this is actually came from yesterday. It says later pandemic offers opportunity to reset our immigration policy. Again, it's talking about how the people are suffering and they don't actually satisfy how the government is dealing with in Northern America. That's including Canada, America, and also in Europe, and especially in UK as well. So they are expecting a lot of migrants will coming that way. So that will actually form a different thinking as well, how the policy should actually sit. Now, how I view about this, my suggestions is to actually increase the number of business investment visas to actually help the economy, because I believe for the skill sectors, it's already been very well engineered. If you relax those sectors and to attract international students come and study, I don't necessarily think that will be a good way, because first of all, the economy of the world is not that good, as I said, to actually getting more people to come with money at this point of time when you see the whole world is going into recession and depressions. I don't think it will have work out. But utilizing the people who has assets and wealth to come and do business investment visas, I think it will be a better way, especially at this point of time. Australian dollar is actually lower than normal or than previous years. And also people with money, they probably sold their assets. They may think of relocating, getting more opportunity in new places. I think if Australia as a nation could offer a better and increased numbers of business investment visas, it will actually help. But look, we've been receiving a lot of information. Also, we've been correlating with a lot of Australian government as well and diplomats as well. If you do have any other ideas how you could increase and improve the economy of Australia, more than welcome to leave a comment down below. Now, finally, I'd like to invite you to consider subscribe to our channel as we're growing and growing more. I would like to put more of English content in my channel, so to attract more people and also to allow more of news and insights, or my digested insights for more of the public out there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you for the next video. Goodbye.